mixing with my mixing tip, creating an analog mix bus processing chain. Now, when working with analog consoles, and this is kind of where I'm getting the whole conceptual design of this, and the basic idea in thinking about the structure of a signal flow through an analog console was that you would be running through the bus electronics of the console, and there would be some compression that would be part of the signal chain, and then this would end up going out into a tape machine, right? So that would be the classic analog processing. So sometimes people, they don't know what to do on the mix bus, and generally the way that I have worked this and in my own formula, or what I like to do, is I like to do the analog bus processing on the stem level. I just find that it works really, really, really well. And then put a mix bus compressor on the master fader, and then apply that, run it through a tape machine emulation if that's something that I would want to do. So in working with this, I'm just going to keep everything really simple, and I'll stay within the waves architecture here, and just kind of work with this. Now, in this case, I'm going to use the NLS bus. Like whether you use Slate or whatever plugin emulation that you use that does bus emulated processing, then I would call this up and I would select the bus here for specifically for the for the master fader, excuse me, instead of the channel one, because the channel one would be the distortion characteristics of the individual channel strips. So you'll have that option on whatever one of those that you get. So you want to actually use the mix bus one. This has three classics. The Spike, this is an SSL. This is an EMI console, and this is a Neve console. So you're doing these three classics here, and you can use this on the bus chain to emulate the harmonic distortion characteristics of an EMI console. So each one has a different kind of character and sound. So,
to the slaughterhouse, burning down the slaughterhouse, to the slaughterhouse, burn my skin, burn my skin, chain me down, chain me down.
So each one has a unique characteristic sound. The EMI has a lot of warmth and richness. The SSL has a gritty kind of Brit sound. The Neve has a little bit more of an open mid-range, and a little bit more a top-end sizzle. And one of the things that I kind of like to do here is to add a little bit of distortion into this. So, I may, do a setting that gives me a little bit of extra bite to the
Slaughterhouse, to the slaughterhouse, burning down the slaughterhouse, to the slaughterhouse, burn my skin, burn my skin, chain me down, chain me down.
So you can see there that's just a bypass. So it's not an A/B comparison between drive and no drive. If I'm doing it that way, I generally would want to, adjust the trim, as a way of doing the gain structure here. I kind of like the Neve the best of these. So in the end, if I feel like I'm hitting my mix bus a little bit hard, I want to kind of make sure that my gain structure is compensated for, and all this is doing is this is overdriving a little bit of the electronics. So it's pretty cool. So here I'm trying to capture a certain characteristic sound, And let's just say that I want to run this through, since we're in the Neve realm, let's just say I want to run this through a Neve processor, and I know I said it was going to stay in the, sort of go in the, I'm going to go over here to Universal Audio and go to 33609 bus compressor, because I think this would be really good for this. And kind of do like a little bit of a quick, light ratio. Let's just kind of see where the threshold lands.
Slaughterhouse, to the slaughterhouse, burning down the slaughterhouse, to the slaughterhouse, burn my skin, burn my skin, chain me down, chain me down. Slippery, on we slide to victory. Blinded eyes and equal pay. Something smell like flesh to you. Burning down the slaughterhouse, to the slaughterhouse.
So this is kind of interesting here. I wasn't hearing it as much as I thought I would be hearing it here. So
Slaughterhouse,
sort of get a touch of limiting in here.
burning down the slaughterhouse, to the slaughterhouse, burn my skin, burn my skin, chain me down, chain me down. Slip.
I don't really like it, so I'm going to leave it off for right now, and we'll just go with the compression here, which is pretty cool.
Take me by the hand, take me by the hand.
And the dB and makeup gain here is stepped in 2 dB increments, so that's true to the original piece, and so this would be, this stage of the analog processing, and then maybe I want to run it through a tape emulation. So like a Kramer tape here, something that might help. This is going a little 7.5, and
Take me by the hand, take me by the hand.
I'm going to check my gain structure here.
Make amends, make amends.
I can use this to bring in a little bit more tube
Burning
warmth.
down the slaughterhouse, to the slaughterhouse, burning down the slaughterhouse, to the slaughterhouse, burn my skin, burn my skin, chain me down, chain me down. Slippery, on we slide to victory.
So what I've done here on this is to get a fair amount of compression. I can control the compression here with the flux control, one of the reasons why I like it. And this operates mostly as a distortion characteristic for the tubes. You can actually get just the tube harmonic distortion from here, and this will give a little bit more warmth as you go in, and then this will mix in some of the tape harmonic distortion and compression characteristics, and then you can toggle between the different parameters here to get, you can add a lot of presence by going nominal bias and 15. 7.5 has got a little bit more of a thick lower end, and this helps to open up the top end. Otherwise, you could just warm it up and get rid of a lot of the digital edge by going with the overbias. And then, so what I've done here now is I've created an analog chain, and that would emulate like the process I would take going through an analog console. So let's get past the channel stage, because I would also put NLS channel processors or Slate channel processors across and set up the console type that I like and have that running, so that would be feeding out. And if I felt really analog, I might even have like tape emulation plugins running across that would emulate like this coming off a tape machine through an analog console with that harmonic distortion characteristic, and then building this out on the mix bus. So with this, essentially, the order of the NLS bus, that could be prior to or pre the compression, but the tape would always be last. Depending upon the console type, it may operate one way or the other, and you also have in the bus output electronics, technically, I think for the most part, it would always be after. But you do have the ability to put the compressor pre-fader or post-fader, which is pre the output path or post the output path, and so you could go either way. And this would be like a point of comparison to see if you would compressing it first and then going into this sounded better. But without getting into that whole thing, and you could kind of play with that, let's just bypass this all in and out. And so let's just kind of hear what that is.
Take me by the hand, take me by the hand. Mama, make amends, mama, make amends. Burning down the slaughterhouse.
Okay, so now let's listen to it with it bypassed.
Take me by the hand, take me by the hand. Mama, make amends, mama, make amends. Burning down the slaughterhouse.
So if you're just looking at the levels here, which you can still see the levels, they don't look any different, you know, at the output stage. But there's an effective presence and compression that's lost. So let me bring in these components one at a time now. Let's hear them.
Take me by the hand, take me by the hand. Mama, make amends, mama, make amends.
That's where all the gain is coming from.
Burning down the slaughterhouse, to the slaughterhouse. Burning down the slaughterhouse, to the slaughterhouse. Burn my skin, burn my skin. Chain me down, chain me down. Slippery on we slide to victory. Blinded eyes and equal pay. Something smell like flesh to you. Burning down the slaughterhouse, to the slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse, burning down the slaughterhouse.
So anyway, you can hear this, and you know, you can hear the gain kind of jumping up and down, and part of that is a little bit of just the nature of the analog components and the makeup gain here. And you know, I might pump it a little bit more, but not necessarily so that the gain reduction output is correct. But whatever sounded best, like that may sound a little bit better hitting the tape machine a little bit harder if I put that extra gain in there. But you can hear a qualitative difference there, and it does add a lot of analog warmth, depth, and body and focus, which is exactly what you're getting for by running through that signal chain in an analog desk. And that's why I created this tip. So it's a really simple one. You got the console emulations, put them out there, put your favorite mix bus compressor, tape compressor. I'm not putting any kind of limiting here. This L2 that's on the end is bypassed, and that was just for the overall gain for the demonstrations and stuff like that. So that's not doing anything. We got a durometer on the back end. The gain structure is really important in terms of preserving that. So as you you know, when you get to the tape plugin in particular, that you're not overdriving it to the point where it's oversaturating and collapsing the sound. Those are things to consider. So if you keep your gain structure good, this setup is very, very easy to kind of lay out. And we'll give you a little bit of insight on to how you set up the structure for analog mix bus processing.